Because if you know the history of the whole concept of whiteness, if you know the history of the whole concept of the white race, where it came from and for what reason, you know that it was a trick and it's worked brilliantly. See, prior to the mid to late 1600s in the colonies of what would become the United States, there was no such thing as the white race. Those of us of European descent did not refer to ourselves by that term really ever before then. In fact, in the old countries of Europe, we had spent most of our time killing each other. We didn't love each other. We weren't one big happy family. The side of my family that comes from Scotland, hell, they didn't even worry about fighting people outside of Scotland. Highlanders and lowlanders just fought the hell out of each other. So there was no white race, but in the colonies of what would become the United States, what did we see in the 1660s, 1670s? We began to see that Africans of indentured servant status, many of them not enslaved yet, they were not necessarily permanently enslaved. Some were, others were indentured like many poor Europeans for periods of 7 to 11 years. They could work off their indenture and then they would be free labor technically. Realized, as did the white indentured servants, the Europeans who hadn't even been called white yet, that they had a lot of things in common, like the fact that they were all getting their clock cleaned by the elite. And so they would get together more than our history books taught us, to foment rebellion against the elite, to try to get a better deal for themselves on the basis of economic necessity and economic justice. And what did the elite do? When you see that you're outnumbered by black and white folks who are penniless, landless, peasants, you have to do one of two things. You either have to kill them all, but you can't do that because who's going to work? Rich folks weren't going to. They had to get poor people to work. The whole point was to be a person of leisure back in those days. That was the goal, was not to work. So you couldn't kill them all. You didn't want to kill them all. You had to do the work yourself. You had to build your own levee, build your own house. No.
If you don't know who Tim Wise is, you're wasting your life. It's a real situation. He gives me hope for white folk. Because if there's a white man that's strong enough to stand up for what's right and really lay some science down to educate not just white folk, but all folk, you know, we got to listen to that white dude, okay? That white dude just broke the science smooth down. Look him up. And for all of the followers, for all of the black followers of Bobby Jindal, I'm speaking to the black bourgeoisie. That brother said, racism still exists because black folk won't act white. What he basically did was called on Dr. Samuel Cartwright. Way back in the day, Dr. Samuel Cartwright said, you know what, I'm going to create, because this is a part of white privilege, I'm going to create a mental disease for slaves who want to run away. It's called drapetomania. The black bourgeoisie still suffer from drapetomania. It's seen as a disease for those who want to run away. Whenever a slave ran away, he said he suffers from drapetomania. Because why would he want to run away from his master? That is the natural order of things. When I hear Bill Cosby, Al Sharpton, all these black dudes talking about our so-called black leadership saying, go get an education. Not if it's a European education, a westernized education that is bereft of who you are, the knowledge of who you are, that just says integrate into a system that has all types of ceilings and limitations for you, right? Look at what we celebrate. We got 3,700 award shows, right? Oh man, he made it in film. Oh man, they broke barriers and interracial relationships on television. We be praising dumb shit because we all suffer from drapetomania. White privilege will never be fixed as long as we suffer from that illness. You understand? If the NAACP is honoring Donald Sterling for giving them money, right? This is the classist side of black folk. They still call themselves colored, for Christ's sake. Right? We still in alignment with the societal norms that tear us down. As long as we look to like my man Jackie Robinson, Joe Louis. See, that's the type of nigga they want in American culture. They don't want an intelligent, free-thinking Richard Sherman, Stanford educated. Nah, you don't get to say that about me, black man. I'm going to stand up and forfeit all of the accolades and accoutrement that I've accumulated over. I'm going to throw it all away if I don't have my dignity and integrity. Nah, we don't want that dude because he can't be governed. White privilege is meaningless as long as drapetomania is still in place. Most of our niggas is afraid to run away. As long as we're afraid to run away, it don't matter if white privilege exists or not.
So let me sleep in the house.
So what? And that's my final thought. Get at us on our. Go. You got to follow our YouTube page. That's where all of the shows are. The Zo What Show. No spaces. The Zo What Show. Join the YouTube page. Corey, where are you performing next? Really quickly. We got to do it fast.
Virginia Beach, Funny Bone this weekend. Get
Virginia
your tickets,
Beach,
motherfuckers.
Funny Bone.
Real Men Don't Play show this Thursday. We're going to have the face of boxing, Sam Watson, in studio.
Excellent.
May 10th, down in the Gaslamp District, San Diego. Look it up on Facebook, Jeff Brown.
Beautiful
What
stuff.
day of the week is that?
Saturday.
And I got to do this really quickly. At Zoe Williams, Twitter, as well as at Mr. Zoe What, Instagram. And I'm going to end with this final thought. J. Krishnamurti. It is no measure of health to be adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Drapetomania, niggas. I'm out.
Peace.